There are 4 supplemental essay prompts, of which you pick 2. During my first cycle, I picked prompts 2 and 4, and in my reapplication cycle, I picked prompts 1 and 2. I'll show you all my essays throughout both cycles, what I changed between the 2 cycles, and why I chose the prompts that I did. Let's start with prompt 2, which I used both cycles, describe an important mentor. During my first cycle, I took this prompt a little bit too literally. I wrote about my mentor, how he helped me, and why I admired him. However, when you read this honestly sounds more like a letter of recommendation for him rather than an essay about me. There was also a lot of listing off my CV here, which wastes valuable space where I could otherwise be talking about who I am as a person. Really, the only time I mentioned anything about myself was just in the last 2 sentences, which also wasn't very strong. After asking others to review my essays during my reapplication cycle, I understood that even though the prompt asks about your mentor, it's really asking about you. So in my second draft, I reframed my mindset. Instead of just describing him, I focused more on what I learned, a specific story that I had with him, and how I grew as a person because of him. You can see that even though this is the same prompt, the focus is on me instead of my mentor. Here's my essay for prompt 4, which I only used during my first cycle. I picked this prompt because I had written in my career objectives about wanting to be a program director one day, so it felt like the right choice. However, you can see that my response is very generic and doesn't give any insight into who I am as a person. Key point here, every essay answer should give the reviewer insight into who you are. Unless you can reframe this prompt in a way that highlights you, like in the last mentor prompt, I wouldn't recommend it. I switched out the residency program prompt for the resilience prompt, which I highly recommend for anyone who has any sort of red flag on their application. It's better to be upfront about these things, otherwise it ends up being a bigger red flag if it seems like you're trying to hide it. Addressing it up front shows maturity, accountability, and shows that you've grown from this experience. Lastly, I didn't pick the unique attributes prompt myself, but I think it's a fantastic option. It's basically an open invitation for you to talk about what makes you unique beyond your CV, which I can see tying in really well to making a really strong and memorable brand. And like I said in my last video, I don't think these essays are perfect by any means, but I hope you can use these lessons to guide you in making yours. The main takeaways, don't use them as a place to rehash your CV. The rest of your application already shows your achievements. What's missing is that human side. 2, don't take the questions literally. For example, even though prompt 2 asks about your mentor, keep the focus on you, the applicant. 3, use these essays as an opportunity to let your application come alive by adding that personal touch and an otherwise impersonal list of achievements. That way, by the time interview season rolls around, reviewers will remember you not just from your stats and achievements, but for who you are.